Hello everyone and welcome to The Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Friday, February 27th, 2026. Today on The Young and the Restless, Matt reaches out to Nick, Phyllis finds an unexpected ally, and Audra tries to talk sense into Sally. At Newman, Phyllis talks to herself about taking Victor's power and props her feet up on the desk. Enter Lauren, who is warned against raining on Phyllis's parade. But, surprise, she's come to praise her. At Chancellor, Billy is also talking to himself. He won't get stabbed in the back by someone who claims to love him again. All but twirling his mustache, he declares that Chancellor is all mine and mine alone. Sally appears and he wonders if she's had a change of heart. Sally came by to inform him that she hired Audra as her co-Keo. He wants to play devil's advocate, but she doesn't care what he thinks and explains she cleared it with Jill. Billy learns she's also changed the name from Abbott Communications to Spectre Charles. He decides not to argue and turns on the charm, convincing her to have dinner with him. Back at Newman, Phyllis can hardly believe it, but Lauren is over the top, thrilled about her knocking Victor off his perch, heralding it as a victory for all womankind. That said, she shoots Phil a skeptical look when she claims she did this for her children's future, forcing her to admit it was also for herself. Lauren hedges to find out if Phyllis is having second thoughts. Phyllis snaps, "Why would I do that?" Her friend points out she loves Nick and doesn't want to hurt him or their daughter. Her friendship with Sharon must also be on shaky ground. She's sure Red is feeling some remorse even if she won't admit it. Phyllis complains that most people, even her kids, have fallen for the Newman propaganda machine. Nick tried to shame her into giving the company back. It really cut deep. Lauren's sorry and offers to take her out to celebrate. At Crimson Lights, Victoria tells Sharon that she's looking for Nick. The blonde admits he's been preoccupied with Matt Clark. Victoria guesses she won't be able to drag him to Milan. Sharon confides that Nick hasn't even recovered from his injury yet. Cut to Nick in the back alley holding a fentanyl pill from his little pink baggie. Grimacing, he throws it into the snow, but then retrieves it and swallows it down. Inside, Sharon discusses Nick's painkiller crisis with Victoria before switching over to the subject of Phyllis. Sharon insists she can see the pain and regret beneath the redhead's exterior. Nick enters and Sharon leaves him and his sister to talk. Nick tries to talk Victoria out of going to Milan, asking as Summer's father that she not involve her in this. He regrets calling Summer and wants her to decide for herself how to deal with her mother. Sharon interjects that if Phyllis's kids stop speaking to her, it might make her dig in her heels harder. They debate whether Victor's plan will work until Nick gets a text from an unknown caller asking for $5 million to disappear for good. Sharon asks, "Is it Matt?" Nick texts back, "Come see me to work things out." Matt texts back with a laughing emoji that $5 million is the price to leave his son alone. Nick updates Victoria and Sharon, who declares they have to lure him out of hiding. In the club, Billy jovially approaches Lauren and Phyllis, who explains that her pal's the only one not judging her. Billy's surprised. Lauren says her husband's not tethered to Victor and it's not secret she's not a fan. Billy's not convinced that Lauren's not trying to talk Phyllis out of this and warns Red to proceed with caution as he trots off. Lauren's mildly offended and offers to hear Phyllis's side of things. Phyllis says she sees this as her last chance for success. She can't get over people being upset that she bested Victor. Lauren is sorry and will do whatever she can to help her. Phyllis says, "Come work for me." Sally catches up with Audra in society. She's designing their new logo and preparing press blasts. When Audra notices her friend is off, Sally admits she went to see Billy, who invited her to dinner. Appalled, Audra tries to talk her out of it, reminding her she'll never come first with him. Sally insists it's just a final goodbye. "Sure, Jan." Audra continues campaigning against it. At society, Sally insists she won't be talked into getting back together with Billy. Audra's unconvinced and urges her to go in strong and resolved, thinking about what's best for herself. At the club, Lauren is flattered by Phyllis's offer, but she's content where she is right now. Phyllis argues she's complacent and is due for an adventure. They could take over the world. At Crimson Lights, Sharon wonders how to lure Matt out of hiding. Nick has an idea, something he won't be able to resist. The cold wind cuts through Genoa City, a reminder that even in the most polished facades, chaos can linger beneath the surface. Today the chess pieces are moving and everyone's hand is trembling just slightly, hiding ambition, regret and desire. At the iconic Newman estate, Phyllis stands alone in the grand office, her heels perched on the edge of Victor's polished desk. She mutters to herself, a self-satisfied smirk tugging at her lips, relishing the intoxicating thrill of power. She's done it. She's taken a piece of Victor's empire for herself. This victory is delicious. And then the office door swings open. Lauren steps in, a flash of poised elegance, and Phyllis tenses instinctively, ready for confrontation. But Lauren surprises her. There's no lecture, no disapproval. Instead, there's a warm, almost celebratory smile. "I came to praise you," she says. And for a moment, Phyllis allows herself to bask in the rare approval of a friend who isn't silently judging her. Across town at Chancellor Communications, Billy paces like a caged lion, muttering to himself with theatrical flair. He can't, he won't, allow himself to be betrayed again by someone who claims to love him. His mustache twitches with each dramatic turn, his voice dripping with a mix of bitterness and theatrical bravado. "Chancellor is mine," he declares to the empty room. "All mine." And yet, just as he savors the declaration of ownership, Sally enters, light-footed, calm, almost serene. Billy's eyes narrow, curiosity piqued. "Have you had a change of heart?" he asks, a note of hope and voidness mixed in. Sally, unflinching, drops her announcement with quiet authority. She's hired Audra as her co-CEO. Billy wants to argue, to challenge, to wrestle control in his usual way, but Sally doesn't even glance at him. She's cleared this with Jill, and there's no room for debate. Her next revelation lands like a gentle hammer. The company's name has changed. Abbott Communications is now Spectra Charles. Billy stares for a beat, digesting the news, and then in that familiar mix of charm and cunning, he leans forward. A dinner invitation follows, smooth, almost magnetic, and Sally, despite the tension, doesn't resist. Back at Newman, the atmosphere is electric, crackling with a mix of triumph and trepidation. Phyllis can hardly believe it. Lauren is effusive, thrilled beyond measure that Phyllis has knocked Victor off his throne. She declares it a victory for all womankind, a poetic flourish that makes the redhead's chest swell. Yet, when Phyllis tries to frame her actions as being for her children's future, Lauren narrows her eyes skeptically. Phyllis hesitates. The truth is a pulse-quickening mix of selfish ambition and maternal instinct. She admits reluctantly that part of this victory is for her. Lauren, ever the moral compass, presses gently. "Are you having second thoughts?" she asks. Her words hang in the air, heavy with implication. Phyllis snaps back, defiant. "Why would I do that?" But the question lingers. Does she really mean it? Lauren reminds her gently but firmly that she loves Nick and that her actions inevitably ripple into the lives of those she cares about. Her children, her friends, her tenuous bond with Sharon. There's a subtle undertone here, a warning perhaps, or a mirror held up to her conscience. Phyllis leans back, exhaling, frustration and hurt mingling in her expression. Most people, even her own children, have bought into the Newman propaganda machine. Nick, with his well-intentioned but cutting words, tried to shame her into returning the company. That stung deeper than she expected. Lauren, empathetic, offers a simple but sincere remedy: celebration. "Come out with me. Let's celebrate what you've done." Meanwhile, at Crimson Lights, a quieter storm brews. Victoria searches for Nick, only to find Sharon reflecting on his distraction. His mind is elsewhere, on Matt Clark, the ghost of trouble that won't leave him be. Victoria tries to anchor the conversation to Milan, realizing that even her sister can't drag him away from the shadows of his pain. Sharon admits softly, almost in confession, that Nick hasn't fully recovered from his injury. The scene cuts sharply to Nick, hidden in a dim alleyway, his breath fogging in the cold night. He holds a single fentanyl pill between his fingers, staring at it as though it's a key to salvation and destruction all at once. He flinches, hesitates, and throws it into the snow. But gravity, or perhaps desperation, calls him back. He retrieves it and swallows. The crunch of snow beneath his boots echoes the weight of the choice, a chilling reminder of the line between control and surrender. Inside Crimson Lights, the conversation turns. Sharon and Victoria discuss the unfolding crisis, Nick's reliance on painkillers, Phyllis's tumultuous rise to power. Sharon insists she sees the pain lurking beneath Phyllis's fiery exterior, a vulnerability only hinted at by her rare moments of self-doubt. Nick enters the room and Sharon, with a quiet understanding, leaves the siblings to their dialogue. Nick, protective and cautious, tries to dissuade Victoria from traveling to Milan. He worries, as Summer's father, about her getting pulled into the emotional fallout. He regrets calling Summer in the first place, wishing she could navigate her own path with her mother. Sharon intervenes, pragmatic yet compassionate, pointing out that if Phyllis's children withdraw, it might only make her dig in her heels harder. The tension ratchets higher when Nick's phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number flashes on the screen. $5 million to disappear forever. The specter of Matt Clark looms. Nick replies, "Come see me to work things out." A laughing emoji punctuates the response. The message is chillingly clear, $5 million to leave his son alone. Sharon's eyes widen. "We need to lure him out," she declares, the plan forming in real time. The scene shifts to the club, where Billy's theatrical energy meets the calculated warmth of social grace. He approaches Lauren and Phyllis, sensing the undercurrent swirling between them. Lauren assures him she's not judging Phyllis, yet Billy's instincts are sharp. He can't help but warn her to proceed carefully. Phyllis, ever ambitious, sees this as her last chance for genuine success. She's frustrated, wounded even, that so many are angered by her triumph over Victor. Lauren, steady and sincere, offers support. Phyllis extends an audacious invitation, "Come work for me." Elsewhere, at Society, Sally catches up with Audra, who's immersed in branding and press preparations for the newly christened Spectra Charles. Sally's confession is heavy. She's seen Billy and received a dinner invitation. Audra's reaction is one of concern and disbelief. She warns Sally that she'll never be the priority, yet Sally's resolve is ironclad. "It's just a final goodbye," she insists, her words soft but resolute. Audra presses on, advocating for self-prioritization and strength, urging Sally to walk in fully prepared to protect her own heart. Back at the club, Phyllis continues to charm Lauren, trying to convince her that life is too short to stay comfortable. "We could take over the world," she says, her eyes sparkling with ambition and defiance. Lauren, flattered but content, hesitates. She's not ready to leap, not yet. And at Crimson Lights, the gears of strategy turn. Sharon and Nick whisper, plotting to lure Matt out of hiding. Nick's plan is dangerous, clever, and irresistible. A storm is coming, one where every choice could ignite consequences no one can fully control. The tension, the ambition, the fragile alliances, everything is set. The city holds its breath, and the stage is prepared for the next move in this intricate, emotionally charged game of power, love, and redemption. The tension in Genoa City thickens like fog rolling through empty streets. Every move, every glance carries weight. Every whispered word could ignite chaos. And somewhere in the shadows, old rivalries and simmering betrayals are quietly plotting their next strike. At the club, Lauren finally allows herself to relax, if only for a moment, sitting across from Phyllis. The redhead's eyes burn with a mix of determination and vulnerability, her voice steady yet tinged with a flicker of insecurity. "This is my last shot," she admits, "my last chance to prove that I can succeed on my own terms." There's pride in her tone, but it's undercut by the ache of loneliness. Few understand the pressure of stepping into a battlefield controlled by Victor Newman. Lauren listens, her own emotions carefully measured. "Phyllis," she says softly, "I get it, but don't let their judgments define you. You've always been brilliant, capable, daring. That hasn't changed." Her words are a balm, a rare moment of encouragement in a city that so often thrives on cynicism and competition. Outside, the city hums with a different kind of tension. Nick, haunted by his own choices, walks briskly through the snow-dusted streets. His mind replays the alleyway, the pill, the temptation, and the quiet, almost unbearable ache of trying to protect everyone while feeling powerless himself. Each step carries the weight of guilt, frustration, and an urgent need to regain control. Back inside, Victoria and Sharon plot quietly over coffee at Crimson Lights. Every plan is tentative, each suggestion layered with fear and hope. Nick's safety, Matt's manipulations, and Phyllis's unpredictable streak all intersect here like sparks waiting for a fire to ignite. Sharon leans closer, voice low, almost conspiratorial. "We need something he won't be able to resist," she whispers, and Victoria nods, understanding immediately the stakes of coaxing Matt out of hiding without letting things spiral further out of control. Meanwhile, at Society, Sally's heart beats with a cocktail of anticipation and trepidation. She walks through the sleek, bustling office, catching Audra's eyes. The tension between them is palpable. Audra's concern, Sally's quiet resolve. "This is it," Sally murmurs, almost to herself. "This is the line I won't cross." Her steps are measured, deliberate, and yet there's an unspoken tremor, a vulnerability she refuses to show. Audra sighs, frustration edged with love and loyalty. "Just remember why you're doing this," she warns. "You can't let him make you second best again." Sally's resolve hardens, but the familiar pang of longing hits her anyway. There's an emotional duel raging inside her. Love, pride, hurt, and hope. She steels herself, walking toward the dinner that promises closure, not rekindling. Back at Newman, Phyllis and Lauren continue their conversation, the conversation shifting from strategy to subtle truths. "You could do anything," Phyllis says, leaning forward, the glow of ambition mingling with unspoken fear. "But I need someone who understands, who doesn't judge me." Lauren smiles faintly, touched but firm. "I'm here," she says simply. The weight of that word, that promise, carries more meaning than either can fully articulate. And at Chancellor, the scene is a quiet battlefield of a different kind. Billy, dressed in tailored confidence, plays the social game with ease, his charming smile a mask for the vulnerability beneath. Sally arrives, their eyes meet, and the air pulses with a tension that neither apology nor explanation could completely dispel. Dinner awaits, a final meeting that promises clarity or heartbreak or maybe a little of both. In the snow-slicked alleys of Genoa City, Nick's plan begins to take shape. Every move is calculated, every text precise. Matt Clark's message, taunting, dangerous, is the spark they need to lure him out. The city, unaware of the chess game unfolding within it, continues in its normal rhythm, oblivious to the storms about to break inside offices, homes, and hearts alike. Inside the club, a gentle moment of levity contrasts sharply with the scheming. Phyllis laughs lightly at a joke Lauren makes, the sound soft, genuine. For a fleeting moment, the weight of power, betrayal, and ambition lifts, but even in that brief escape, the tension never fully dissipates. Both women know the stakes are far higher than any fleeting camaraderie. At Society, Sally steels herself for the encounter with Billy. Audra's warnings echo in her mind, each step heavy with anticipation. The scene is taut with unspoken emotions, regret, longing, pride, and the delicate balance of closure. Every glance, every word is loaded with the history of their past and the uncertain future they now face. And in Nick's mind, the plan is almost set in motion. The lure, subtle yet irresistible, is ready. Matt Clark may be hiding, but the city's silent pulse carries Nick's determination into the shadows. It's a game of patience, of wits, and of emotional endurance. One misstep could unravel everything. One decisive move could bring resolution or catastrophe. Back at Newman, Phyllis takes a deep breath, her hands lightly resting on the edge of the desk once more. Victory feels different than she imagined. Sweet, yes, but complicated. Success tastes of loneliness, ambition, and the fragile hope that she hasn't destroyed what matters most, her family, her friendships, and her chance at happiness. Lauren watches her, quietly supportive, a beacon of steadiness in the storm of Phyllis's life. The camera pans out slowly, the city lights flickering like distant stars. Alliances are fragile, hearts are conflicted, and the tension, oh, The tension is building to a crescendo that will leave no one untouched, because in Genoa City, power is fleeting, love is dangerous, and every victory comes with a cost. And somewhere in the distance, Matt Clark's laughter echoes, a promise that the storm is far from over.